Hey, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be going over how to run a faster 40 in just one day and really putting a big focus on your overall sprint mechanics. That's really the number one way that you can really make a big difference in your time in one session or just a few sessions is by really correcting your sprint mechanics. We do have additional videos that can help you out with general strength, general power, just general range of motion type exercise, which will obviously be beneficial, but that's going to be more of a long-term gain, where if you can make some adjustments within your setup or within your first 3 to 5 steps or even your top end speed, those will all make a big difference in terms of how well you're able to run the 40-yard dash. If you like the information, go ahead and like the video. That helps us out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you have any questions, comments, recommendations, go ahead and leave that down below in the comment section. We'll go ahead and hop in the video right now. All right, the first thing we're going to go into is going to be your setup, and really getting into what are the nitty-gritties behind the setup. There's a couple key things that I think is going to be really important here. First thing is, whichever hand that you want to have forward, or whichever leg you want to have forward, you want to make sure that the hand is a little bit out in front of that foot. So you can see, for me, I'm going to be probably about 6 inches, maybe 4 to 6 inches or out in front with my hand in comparison to my foot here. And then from there, I'm going to just come up and make it so my foot gets pretty close. I do like to have my butt kind of high here. Throwing your hand up, right? So for me, it's going to end up being my left hand's going to be coming. And then really make sure I'm also dropping that front knee to make it so I get a good shin angle to be able to get an effective push off within that first step. All right, the next part's going to be the start phase, which is going to be the first 3 to 5 steps. Really, when you're going through this, you really want to put a big focus on making sure that you're staying a lot more on your toes, so you don't really want to have your heels hitting the ground at all. Also, make sure your hips are all the way through. You don't want to have your hips being stuck too far back behind you. When you're pushing off, make sure you're getting full extension within that back leg, so you're fully extending that knee. All right, the next part's gonna be the transition phase, and the big thing about the transition phase is we're gonna be going a little bit more upright with the spine, right? So we're gonna get closer to our actual top end speed running. So our spine angle is gonna be adjusting. It's important that you don't just pop up here and that you slowly increase the angle of the spine to make it so you're able to really maximize that turnover and not lose any of the force that you build up during your start. And then as you're getting going and you're getting to cycle the legs a little bit more effectively, you want to make sure that you're picking up a good amount of distance down each one of your steps. At the beginning, each one of your steps, you're not going to be picking up as much of your distance. You're a lot quicker at the beginning, but now as you're getting through your transition phase, you're starting to open up a little bit more, and you should be picking up more and more distance on each one of the steps. And so as you're hitting the ground, what you should be doing is really making sure you're getting your foot out in front and out in front of your knee, and then pulling and driving through. As you get closer to top end speed, you'll be able to get your foot further and further out in front of you. But for right now, we just want to make sure that we're building to get the foot a little bit more out in front of the knee, and then coming and touching the ground with the ball of the foot as you're cycling through. All right, the last part here is going to be your top end speed. This could be anywhere between 20 to 25 yards of the 40, where you're really being able to maximize that turnover. Make sure that when you're hitting the ground, you're creating a lot of force as you're initially touching the ground. And in order to do that, you got to make sure you're getting your foot out in front of you. You're landing with the balls of your feet. And remember that when your foot is actually hitting the ground, you only have about the first half of that foot contact time where you're creating all the force to then be able to push off and really be able to maximize that push off with each one of your steps. And as you get better at running faster, you're going to be able to really maximize your 40-yard time, but really you're going to be able to understand how to hold that top end speed longer. So the more you can work on holding your top end speed for 40 yards, 60 yards, 100 yards, then you'll be able to really see a big improvement within your 40-yard dash. I really recommend you working on some of that distance stuff just to make sure that you're able to hold that top end speed and feel very comfortable running as fast as you possibly can with the posture, with the turnover, and you're not stumbling with your feet or anything like that. So highly recommend you make sure you're working on your top end speed a lot in order to make sure your 40-yard dash comes down. As always, if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and leave that down below. Thanks for watching the video. We have a lot of different things in the description that will give you like a 7-day speed program. We have a 3-month overall speed program that you can join. The 7-day trials obviously for that 3-month program. We have breakdowns. We just have a lot of things to be able to help you out with your sprinting. We have a 40-yard dash program. So all that is in the description down below. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching the videos. We'll talk to you soon.